Africa 24. This program is brought to you by the AfCFTA Secretariat.
Thank you for joining us. You are on Africa 24 English. It is a pleasure to have you with us. In this special edition of the interview today, we are joined by Mr. Daniel McKorley. He's the CEO of the McDAN Group, and together we will discuss the challenges of transport and logistics within the framework of the ECFTA. Mr. McKorley, welcome to Africa 24.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you with us. Here comes the first question. What are the challenges confronting businesses seeking to leverage on the ECFTA?
Well, we know logistics has been a major problem across the world, not only Africa, but Africa happens to be the green planet where infrastructure and connectivity is one of the biggest problems. Why so? Because when it comes to connectivity, Africans don't control their assets, so it makes it very difficult. The challenges here is impeding the movement of the continental free trade. The continental free trade cannot be successful without movement. So it's all had to be movement. We have to move. No matter how difficult it is, we have to move. But the main anchor in the middle is logistics.
Well, so you were on the panel at the Biashara Africa 2024, where national policies and regulations have been identified as a challenge for many businesses trading under the ECFTA. In your estimation, how can this be addressed?
Well, we have started. And I mean, it's not a one-man job or one country's job. We are dealing with a bigger continent made up of 54 countries in the continent. So it has to be one country after the other. All have been ratified. We have to be each other's keeper. Policies and regulations must be synchronized to be able to move cargo. The European Union had been there for a long time. I can say that the continental free trade is moving even faster than how the European Union started.
So you mentioned something critical just earlier about logistics and infrastructure, which remain a challenge ahead of the ECFTA. In what ways do you think that the private sector can play a role in reducing the infrastructure gap to pave the way for a smooth roll out of the ECFTA?
Well, McDAN is one of the pioneers to start all this movement. We were actually the first private sector to sign an MOU with the continental free trade. And it is within our mandate to try to help with the infrastructure problems and the connectivity. What I mean is now we're building warehouses and free zones area across the continent. That is one problem we are solving. We're buying cargo planes to move. We also have cargo ships. So these are major problems. Right now you are coming from Catherine. Where are you coming from? If you move cargo from Ghana to your country, it goes to Europe before it comes to you. That is expensive and that is also time. So we don't have that connectivity. So the infrastructure that McDAN is bringing on board from the private sector is trying to link direct movement.
So you mentioned the MOU that you signed with Biashara Africa, or let's say just the AfCFTA Secretariat. What is it all about?
Well, the first MOU we signed with the Secretariat is to be the main logistic player, to invest money into the movement. So to buy cargo planes and cargo ships, to brand it, to carry the AfCFTA flag. because this is an AU thing, African Union thing, and we need our own. Every asset on the continent is either from Europe, America, or Chinese. We don't have our own assets like ships and airplanes to connect the continent. So that was the first MOU we signed. The second one that we signed today happens to be a movement between Ghana and Kenya, led by another trading company in Kenya, that we have to start moving between the two countries.
Well, you mentioned Ghana. I would like to know something about your country, which is currently hosting the ECFTA Secretariat. That is presents presents a unique opportunity to you as an entrepreneur, and how do you intend to leverage on that to boost intra-African trade?
That is what I am doing right now. Being back in Ghana, being the early bird. Being the early bird that will catch the worm. You know, the continental free trade is a big thing. And I believe every business has to look into it and take the pie. Currently, we are talking about $3.4 trillion movement in the continent. Every serious business is supposed to take part in the movement. So I'm Ghana hosting the headquarters of the Continental Free Trade, and I happen to sit there. I have to be the first. Our Ghanaian had to be the first. I mean, you can't get me wrong if Cameroon is not getting it, right?
Mr. McKorley, it was a real pleasure to have you with us on Africa 24. Hope to see you soon. Ladies and gents, here comes the end of our program, but please stay tuned to Africa 24 English.
This program was brought to you by the AfCFTA Secretariat on Africa 24.